Morning, Luna. Good morning, guys. Welcome to a day in the life of a working from home data analyst. What's going on, everybody? So right now it is 7:36 in the morning. Time to whip up some breakfast, take a shower, and get started for the day. Let's go. Looks like I don't have a clean pan, so I'm gonna have to clean that real quick. Alright, there we go. See, this is why it's important to do your dishes right after you eat. That way this doesn't happen to you. But I was a bit of a bum yesterday. By a bum, I mean I had to go and work in the office, so I didn't have as much time at home to do stuff that I thought I would. But all right, let's get it started. So almost every morning I have the same breakfast, which is 3 eggs, and then I put it on 2 slices of this 647 multi-grain bread. It's a keto bread. I'm not a keto person, but it's higher in fiber, lower in carbs, the macros, so I like it. So we're just going to throw some butter on the pan for the eggs. Throw the bread in the, I almost said throw the bread in the toast. Throw the bed. It's early, guys. Give me a second. Throw the bread in the toaster. Throw the bread in the toaster. Throw the bread in the toaster. And then cook the eggs. Butter that all up. Alright, then we're going to throw some salt, some pepper, then a little bit of garlic powder. Normally I would also put onion powder on this, but I ran out. So we're going to just stick with those 3 this morning. Eggs are just about done. I'm just going to reach in, grab a slice of thin provolone, throw it on top, let it melt. And we're ready to put our sandwich together. The only bad part about these suckers is that they stick together real bad, so pretty much have to pull out the whole thing every single time and just hope that it doesn't tear. But I'll take that. That's not too bad. Just a little tear. Alright, throw that on top. Let that melt. Also, in case you guys are wondering why the door is cracked behind me, it's because my cat Luna loves to just sit in the sunroom all day. Right, Luna? I love cats. And there you go. Breakfast of champions. Alright, so I only got about 15 minutes until I gotta start work, so I'm gonna run upstairs, take a shower real quick, and I'll get started on work. Alright, y'all. Welcome to my office. I know it's a little bit of a mess right now, but I've been doing some reconstruction around the house. And right now I'm working on the office. Just repainted the walls. Got a nice charcoal gray, a little purple background. And yeah, I'm working on the floors next. The floors are, at least the floorboards are a mess. So, but the carpet came out pretty easy. So, all right, so it's about that time. I'm gonna throw my laptop up top here. open it up, get organized for the day while I eat my breakfast. All right, gotta let this bad boy start up before we get started. All right, let's get her going. Okay, so right now I've been just going through my email, getting myself organized for the day. So it looks like one of the projects that I dropped yesterday still hasn't been reviewed yet. So I always just keep an eye on that just to see when someone picks it up to review it. Keep track of that. Looks like I have 3 projects that are due within the next week in my inbox. And I have 3 projects that I can currently review. So what I'm going to do now is just go look through the start dates, see when any pulls are happening, and just come up with a priority list of what comes first, and then I'll just get started from there. Pardon the interruption. I just wanted to see if you guys liked this video so far. If you guys are liking it, consider liking and subscribing to the channel. All right, back to the video. Okay, so what I established is the first project I'm going to work on is actually going to be a review for someone else, since that's the closest due date. I'm going to be doing about 2 business days, so I should be able to finish it probably in like a half hour to an hour. So one of the things that's kind of complicated about it is we don't necessarily have all the documentation. So for our projects, we basically get a request from project managers, and project managers usually provide us with certain documents from the client or stuff that we've developed for the whatever testing that they're doing. We're missing one of those documents, so we're kind of waiting on some feedback for that. So I'm going to do as much as I can until I get that feedback, and I'll go from there. So I'm about to crack up some Spotify, turn my AC on, and just get to work. As a fellow Chicago boy, gotta start off the day with end of beginning. Just one more bit to cry, one teardrop from my eye. All right, let's get focused. Okay, so it's been about an hour and a half. So that first project did take me about a half hour, 40 minutes. We pretty much had enough to go off of to complete the project. There was just one thing that we were waiting for. It was a reference material, but we don't necessarily need it to complete it, but it always is good to have that extra reference just in case. Yeah, so after that, what I did was I reached out on a project that was in my inbox that I knew right away did not have the correct feedback. So, or sorry, did not have the correct reference materials. So reached out to an operations team to see if they can give me the correct materials. So hopefully we can get back. Hopefully we can get that back sooner rather than later, because that one is due in 3 days. So usually our ops team is pretty good with getting back to us about the same day, but it does vary. So now I'm going to look at, and we're going to review 2 projects for another team member in my group. So for this one, it's not necessarily working with data, but there was an update to a reference material that we have used for other data sets. So basically what I'm going to do is double check whatever the conclusion is of the other analysts to see if there was any effect on the data sets, and if there were, was the data updated correctly. So that one should be relatively straightforward. Most of the time when they're updating reference materials, they're updating document version numbers, or there was some type of spelling error, something like that. But there are some times where the specifications get changed, or parameters get changed, or even like what they want in their testing is changed. So we'll take a look at that. That should probably take me about 15 minutes to 30 minutes each. So with those two being done, that should take me to my first break of the day, which I usually take at around 10 o'clock. So we get two 10-minute breaks, and then we can take up to an hour-long lunch. So typically what I like to do is at about 10 o'clock, take my first 10-minute break, take my hour-long lunch sometime between 12 o'clock and 1 o'clock, and then I'll take my last 10-minute break about 3 o'clock since I get done about 5. So yeah, we'll get into that and see you around the first break. Man, I am definitely getting a haircut on my lunch break today because this is a mess. But anyway, so I was getting ready to start that review for that project, but it looks like our system is temporarily down because I got a bunch of errors saying, please report this as an error. So that happens sometimes with a massive system with as much data that goes in. Sometimes you do have some technical issues. So I'm gonna clear my cache, close out my browser, start it again, and hopefully that does the trick. Usually it does the trick, but sometimes we have to reboot. So we'll see. Fingers crossed. Okay, so thankfully, it wasn't a system error. I just had to clear my cache and that ended up being okay. So basically what I have to do for these projects is I use a feature in our system called search and replace. So I search the method reference to see if there's any data that is using that reference. And then from there, it just brings me a whole list of anything that uses it. And then I can actually replace the version update right then and there. So I just select what data needs the version number updated, plug it in, and it sets everything there for me. So the only thing that I really have to do by hand is if there are what we call any tests that we had to specifically design for clients, we actually keep internal notes attached to those tests. So one of the things that does suck about the search and replace is that we can't update those notes. So I just have to look for any of the tests that are on the search and replace list, go to them, and then just update the notes from there. Yeah, with method references, it's pretty simple, especially for review. I just basically pull up the old version of the method, pull up the new version of the method, and just compare to see if there were any changes that affect if it affects our data at all. So yeah, so thankfully both of these were pretty simple. Methods were updated, no changes were needed. There were a couple of tests that had to be updated internally, so I just double checked that the person who submitted it did that. They did, so far it's been a pretty easy day. No hiccups really. I mean, you're gonna have times where you're gonna be pending feedback or you're gonna be waiting on stuff, but like that's not bad. That's much better than, you know, doing a completely wrong build or having a complete mess up and errors and then having to go back and redo it all over again. So thankfully that hasn't happened yet today. So it's been a good day. So we're getting close to 10 o'clock. So I'm actually gonna go run out and grab some caffeine. Do you guys want to come with? As you can see, still a little bit of a mess from the renovation, but he's what it is. All right, here we go. So if you guys watch my channel long enough, you'll see that I love my energy drinks. I hate coffee. I really tried. I've tried putting a shit ton of sugar in it. I tried putting a lot of cream in it, iced, hot. I tried it all. It just not my forte, not gonna lie. So I like my energy drinks. I definitely have been cutting back on the amount of sugary ones I've been doing just to try to be a little bit healthier. I know it's kind of an oxymoron with saying drinking energy drinks and being healthier, but I enjoy them. I need the energy sometimes, so if I can just cut back on the sugar and the carbs a little bit, make it a little bit healthier, gotta have balance in life, you know. So we're just gonna run down to the local gas station real quick, grab an energy drink, maybe a protein drink if they have the ones I'm looking for, and yeah, nice easy 10-minute break. All right, I got the goods. Love the orange sugar-free Monsters, they're my favorite. Then the 42-gram Core Powers. Bussin'! It is absolutely beautiful out today. Look at that. Clear sky, sunny day. Definitely gonna have to go outside once I'm done with work for the day. But for now, we're just gonna go back inside. I'm gonna recheck my email inbox, check the group inbox to see if there's any projects that have been submitted for today that are due today. And then I'm just gonna double check to see the progress on the project that I submitted yesterday. So let's get back to it. Cheers. Oh yeah, that's the good stuff. Okay, so went through the inbox. I did not get assigned any new projects yet today. I checked the group inbox to see if anyone had submitted anything. There is a review that I am going to pick up because I can do it. That one's not due for a couple of days either, so I'm going to go back through the projects that I have in my inbox and the reviews that I pulled, do another priority list, and then get started with it. So it looks like, just based off of the due date, I'm probably going to start with one of the projects that I have in my folder, because it's not due until later next week, but I can tell just by the type of request that it is that it's probably going to take a little bit of work. So since I have the luxury of having some extra time right now, since I don't have anything that's pressing that's due either today or tomorrow, we call those rushes. Rushes really put a lot of stress on you, but thankfully, since I don't have one of those, I can actually look for projects that take a little bit longer, and I can start them a little bit earlier than I would have to. So that way, if I end up getting flooded with rushes, today, the next workday, whenever, I'm already a little bit ahead for that long project. So I think that's what I'm going to get started with. Still waiting for feedback on the one project that I had this morning. So I might get as much done as I can for that project without the feedback. Save it, and that way when I get the feedback that I need, I'm already partially done. So yeah, so I think that's going to be my plan of attack for now. So we're going to work for about another hour, 40 minutes, and then I'm going to get ready to go on my lunch break. So like I think I said too earlier, I definitely need a haircut because my hair is just a bit of a mess. So I'm going to online check into a little place down the road, and I'm going to online order some food. That way I'll just go for my haircut, pick up my food, get back home, and I can maximize my time off as much as I can. So let's get to it, dudes. All right, so I decided to come down to the living room just to kind of change it up a little bit. So worked on my project for a little bit. It's a bit of a long project. I'm creating a bunch of tests for the client. So that one's going to take me a couple hours, but I probably got about an hour's worth of work in that one. I reviewed the project So I did the review for the project I talked about earlier. It was just an update to an override for a data set. So I just double checked to make sure that what was requested by our ops team was done by the other person in my group, which it did. So pretty simple one. Actually, while I was working on that one, I got an email from my trainer of my group. So I'm currently working on getting trained on doing some higher end reviews. I've done builds on the higher ends, but we have separate training for reviewing them. So we're on our second round of doing practice scenarios of reviews. So I just finished that up the other day. He just sent me some feedback, so I'm going to go over the feedback. Doesn't look like there's too much to go over, but see if there's any corrections I need for it. And yeah, so we got about 30 minutes till lunch. I'm going to review this practice scenario, look at the feedback, and then I'm going to just make sure everything is cleaned up and organized in my email and the metrics before I head to lunch. So yeah, like I said before, I'm going to go order some food online, go get a haircut, and be productive for that hour that I have away from work. So let's cut to that. Come on, Luna. We gotta go inside now. Just for a little bit. I gotta get some food. All right, gonna go into Sports Cups real quick, get the hair did, pick up some food from Chipotle. Do a little before. Hopefully the after's good. Oh yeah, this came out very, very nice. Obviously I can't see without my sunglasses and I forgot those at home, so. All right, we're gonna run over to Chipotle, pick up our food, head on home, dive right in. No problem. Sweet home. We're gonna have to hurry up and finish up lunch because I only left myself about 10 minutes. Haircut took a little longer than I thought, but it's all right. Throw this down real quick, get back to work. Now, for those wondering, I got that. I'll see if I can get this to focus. Yeah, I got chicken, white rice, sour cream, fajita vegetables, and a little bit of cheese. All right, lunchtime is done. Time to get back to work. I'm gonna keep the good old handy dandy laptop down here for a little bit. So, first thing I'm gonna do is just check to see if I got any new requests in and evaluate it. So it does look like I got a new project in. Okay. Okay. Alright, so that project is to build a new test code. Doesn't look like it'll be too complicated. It is going to be due at the end of next week, so I do have some time there. So I'll make a note of that. Alright, let's also check the group inbox to see if there's a review that needs done quickly. Or not even quickly, just if there's a review that needs to be put in. So for our group, we actually have two separate subfolders. We have one for rushes, which is projects that are needed to be completed by the end of day of whatever day it is, or the next day. So within those 2 days is when we usually put in our rushes. And then we have a separate one, which is just the standard folder, which is just whenever the due dates are. And then we just title our emails with whatever the due date is. That way it's nice and easy to just look at the inbox and you can just see the due dates right away. Okay. Okay, so I'm looking at the group inbox right now, and it does not look like there is anything available for me to review. So right now I am still kind of limited in what projects I am allowed to review. Those projects are ones that I've been trained on and have been approved of by our head trainer of our group. So like I said, the more complex stuff, I'm still in the middle of my training with that, but looks like after just completing the second round of practices, I should be getting some more one-on-one training with that here soon. So before you know it, I'm going to be a junior level data analyst. Kind of crazy how fast time moves. From here, I have it looks like I got an email actually while I was on lunch in regards to the feedback that I was looking for. And the ops team actually pointed out that there might be a bigger level problem to it than just that there's no, or the feedback wasn't given correctly. It might have been an improper request. So we're going to clarify with the project manager to make sure if that's correct or not before we get moving forward. So it's issues like that, which is why I don't normally, if I have issues with pending feedback, I don't normally like to start, even if I don't have everything, because I have instances like this where I'm like, okay, I'll just get started, set it up, and then whenever I get the feedback, I can finish it up. If it ends up being, an improper request, I might have to go back and mark them all as do not use and get rid of the stuff that I just spent time working on. But sometimes that happens, but okay. And it does look like the project that I put in for review yesterday was reviewed. I did have a quick correction. I did accidentally, looks like I put in one of our how would you say it? One of our label row indicators in the beginning of the data when I was reorganizing it. So nice easy fix, just have to get rid of that. Send it in to the reviewer to make sure that it's double checked, and then I should be good to go. So I'm gonna start with that. That way that project is out in the way. I'm gonna work on the review that I pulled before lunch. And then I think after that, hopefully I'll get some feedback on that project that I'm unsure about. If not, I'll just go back to working on the bigger project that I started earlier. So. All right, we're going to go head upstairs back into the office because it's about to be the team huddle where we meet as a group. So I'm going to get myself situated. So every day when we get our huddle together, our whole group gets together on Teams and we talk about our work capacity, if there was any problems that we experienced during the day, if there is some additional information that we think that the team could use. We also go over what we call our problem board, which is basically anything that has to do with our internal note keeping or changes in processes or things that we would like to see changing in the system or things that we're having issues with in the system. We go over that as a group. And then we just have a general time for general announcements, things that are going on within a group, within the department, and with the company as a whole. So it's nice to just touch base with everybody once a week it's nice to touch base with everybody once a day and just get a feel for how everyone's doing. So so it's almost 2:30. This is about the time we all log on. So I'm gonna hop on my call and give them my report. And after that, we're just gonna make sure that we're all tidied up going into the weekend. So I'm just going to make sure that my metrics are up to date, my emails are, organized, and with it being the end of the week too, I got to make sure I put in my time card for the week. And so, we'll see what it looks like. Usually, after the huddle is when things start to slow down as far as requests go. So usually, if we haven't gotten a request in by now from any of the departments, we're usually not going to get too many. We do get updates quite frequently later in the day, but not anything complex. So pretty much what I have in my inbox or what's in the group inbox is what's going to be left for the day. So makes it pretty easy to plan for the second half. Makes it pretty easy to plan for the end of the day. So we'll hop on the call, take a look at the inbox, and see what the last couple hours are going to look like. Really good, man. So looks nice. Over my lunch break. All right, I'm about to get called up, so I'll talk to you after. Current capacity is a 2. Nothing to discuss for KPIs. Due dates are good. Hey, see you guys. Have a good weekend. Yeah, so that's typically what a meeting sounds like. Just to give you some insight. So what I was saying that my capacity is a 2. We use a scale of 1 to 4 to measure our capacity. 1 being I'm completely free. I can use more work. I'm available for anything. 2 is like I have stuff to work on, but like if there's other thing that's more important, I could take it on. 3 is I'm busy. I got stuff I can't really help, and then 4 is like I need help. So typically, we don't let anyone go above a 3. There are times where it does happen, with people being on vacation, a big flood of rushes. It happens. But for the most part, we try to keep everyone around 2 to 3. So, but yeah. So capacity is looking pretty good right now. The only reason why I said 2 instead of 3 is because most of the stuff that is in my inbox is not due until the end of next week slash in 2 weeks. Um, I don't have anything that's due today or the next business day, which is Monday. So usually, if I don't have rushes or something that's like 3 or 4 days out that's due, I typically say my capacity is at 2. So, so yeah. So post meeting, we just talked about a couple of issues with some builds that are going on with a particular department that we're helping out right now. Um, just trying to get on the same page with them. That's one of the hardest parts of our job is making sure that the information coming to us is what the people that are behind us are actually looking for. So, because sometimes that doesn't align, and we're kind of the middle group that has to make sure that the information and the organization of the data is correct. So, so I have the one big project that's due at the end of next week that I've been working on for a couple hours today. We're working on that. I did do a review right before the meeting. It's pretty simple. It was just we needed to update some data that was in a set. The method had changed, and what the client was looking for was a little bit different. So we just had to change the format of the data. Nothing too crazy. I just made sure that that's what he did. Um, no one's pulled up my request or no one's reviewed my project that I put in for yesterday yet, but that's normal. It's not due until, what's the due date look like? Middle of next week. So, like I said, the things that are due uh, closest to whatever's due the soonest is what takes the highest priority. So, things that have been with an earlier due date ahead of mine have been taken. So, that's just kind of how it goes. But I like to keep track of it that way. I just kind of know if I need to expect any corrections or if I need to update the metrics anytime soon. So yeah, I did get for that different request where I was pending feedback. We reached out to technical, and technical did say that there was a mix-up in the request. So in a case like this, what typically happens is not that it's canceled, but we cancel this request, and what we do is we mark it as there was an error in processing, and then when the error gets replaced, then they resubmit a new request form ticket. So the due date usually stays the same. Almost all the data stays the same, but it's just a way for us to track in our metrics where issues are happening and what we did to solve them. So that's just our way of staying organized. So since I'm gonna submit that one for being canceled, I will keep an eye on my inbox because I know eventually when we get the right information, that one's gonna come back around. So also now that the meeting is over too, there was one person who talked about how they have something that is due by the end of today that they haven't submitted yet, but they had just gotten. So I'm going to keep an eye out on our inbox for when they do submit it. And if I get to it first, great. If somebody else on the team gets to it, cool. As long as it gets done, but definitely keep an eye out for something like that. That's one of the good things about meetings. With a couple hours left in the day, is that if something does happen like that, we all can kind of make sure that we keep an eye on the inbox a little bit more than we would throughout the day when it's not as high pressure. But so yeah, so I think for Sorry, cat Luna just scared the crap out of me. Yeah, so I think for at least for the next hour, we're going to work on that long project. I'm going to go back through the inbox to see if there's a review that I could pull. It doesn't look like there is right now. Yeah, it doesn't look like there is right now. So I'll probably just be focusing on the one project. But yeah, so I'm just going to do a quick organization of my emails, update my metrics from the things that I have worked on today. And then it's getting close to 3. Meeting went about 15 minutes, so I got about 10 minutes now until 3 o'clock. So I think I'll go down and just for 10 minutes just work on some stuff around the house. Just something to get your mind off of work, but nothing that you're gonna kick back and get too comfortable with and not stay focused on your job. So yeah, let's get to it. Honestly, you can't really beat this. 42 grams of protein for 230 calories. All right, dishes time. So I think the next thing I'm gonna do is validate the laundry that I have, bring it on upstairs. That way after work, I can fold them, which is always the part I hate. This part's easy. The folding and the putting it away. Back to the old grind. So what I'm gonna do, tidy up any of the last reviews that get put in for the day. I don't have any projects that are due, like I said, for the next couple of days, so I'm just gonna make sure I have everything organized and set in stone. That way, come Monday, I already have my priority list done. A couple other oddball things, like I said, I gotta make sure I put my time card in. I think for probably like the last half hour or so, I'll work on some of my odd-end stuff. So some of the things that I'm working on outside just projects are, so we have a OneNote sheet that basically has our internal notes for all the departments, specific clients, different types of testing, that sort of thing. So me and a couple people in the group are getting together about once a month and a half, once every 2 months, and we're going to reorganize and just clean through some of the notes. Some of those notes have been there for years, some of them are more recent, but we just want to make sure that we're keeping it up to date, keeping it organized, making sure that it's easy to understand and easy to access for new people. So that's something I'm going to work on. Just look through a section that I've been working on my free time. Like I said, and I said in a previous video, where the majority of my time is going to be spent on projects, reviewing projects, and learning more about projects. And there's going to be a little bit of time where I'm going to go to my other goals, which is organizing our OneNote. Then the other part is leadership development. So if I have any time left today, I'll probably read through another section of my company's leadership course guide. I think the last time I was looking at it, I was going through change in management and the effects that it has on people. So that's what I've been reading on the last couple times. Yeah, if I have any time for that at the end of the day, I'll probably do that. But yeah, just biggest thing is you want to make sure at the end of the day you are just as organized as you were going into the day. So like I said, it should always be you come into work, you clock in, and you should already have a pretty good understanding. That way you can jump right into whatever projects you need, or have at least an understanding of, okay, how am I going to attack? That way you get to it much quicker. So. It's the weekend. All right, so I'm gonna kick back and relax for a little bit, and then I think we're gonna go outside for a walk for a little bit. You saw how beautiful it was out earlier, so gotta definitely go for a walk. So kick back, just spend some time on my phone for a little bit, and then go for a walk, and then go get some dinner. Then after that, figure it out. You know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm going to kick back and watch another episode of Band of Brothers while I'm on my phone scrolling. Alright, episode's over. Gonna go for a walk real quick. And by real quick, I mean like maybe like 20 minutes, something like that. Then I'm gonna cook up some dinner. Alright, so before I get going on my walk, I'm gonna make it a little bit easier on myself. When I get back for dinner, I'm gonna get my rice cooking a while. So, got my rice cooker out. Got a big old thing of rice that I have sealed up. Do a little bit less than that. Get that bad boy in there. Next we got half a cup of rice. Maybe a full cup of water. Throw that bad boy in. Set the timer down to cook. Throw the lid on top and forget about it. Home sweet home. Oop, I can smell the rice. So we did about a 20-minute walk. I'm sure the rice is, oh, look at that. Rice is done. Nice. So I like to see. Alright, so now we're gonna cook up some steak with my freshly clean pan that I did on my break. Oh yeah. This that Gucci. Alright, I'm also gonna get some mushrooms and some onions. I'm gonna cook that up after the steak. That way the steak can rest. Look how good that is. Yeah, buddy. Alright, so now that dinner's cooked up, gonna go to the living room, enjoy my dinner, watch another episode of Band of Brothers. Then after that, I'm actually gonna go head upstairs and I'm gonna work on some stuff for my YouTube channel and do some more learning to help me develop as a data analyst. So I'm gonna do some studying on Excel models, specifically more advanced dashboards, and I'm going to look at to see if I can learn some new tools and tricks with it. So alright, before I dive into this, I am curious to see what you guys say. How do you guys take notes when you guys are learning something? I've tried doing like Word documents and whatnot. If I'm being honest, I'd rather just write it down. I feel like I have a better connection like with my memory as I'm writing it down. Also, I just feel like I can take it with me anywhere. I know you could do it on your phone, stuff like that, but I definitely feel better writing my stuff down. But yeah, I'm going to dive into this real quick, learn some more about some Excel dashboards. And you know what? I think I'm actually going to watch another video on some video editing. I definitely want to get better at my video editing. I've gotten better from the beginning, if you guys can tell, hopefully. Hey, that's what I do this channel. Get better every day, right? Little by little. Practice, practice, practice. All right, so it's getting close to 9:15. Feel like I did a pretty good day's worth of work. Got a lot of stuff done. Definitely learned some cool stuff about building dashboards. There is a great channel that I think you guys should check out called Other Levels. They got a really cool video about it's more advanced dashboard building, but hey, that's what I'm looking to do. I know how to do basic level stuff. I'm looking to, raise the level. So take it to other levels. I'm sorry, I'll go. But yeah, so I think I'm gonna wrap it up here. Maybe go for a little bit longer, but yeah, that wraps up the day, I think. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you guys are looking for more data analytics content, whether it's learning, day in the life, so whatever you guys are looking for, let me know in the comments below and consider subscribing to the channel. Have a good one, guys.